Okay. Just last time we stopped our discussion in this section, women in Neo-Buddhism. Uh, any one of you can respond to what is Neo-Buddhism? Any one of you can respond? Do you know about Neo-Buddhism? Any one of you? Do you have any idea about Neo-Buddhism? Friends, are you with me?
Yes.
Do you know any idea about Neo-Buddhism?
No, I don't know, sir.
Okay.
New
Neo-Buddhism has
ideas.
got Neo-Buddhism has got somebody is telling something.
New ideas into old Buddhist, right?
Okay, not exactly, but thank you for your just your initiation to express your views. We appreciate that.
I think liberal thoughts in Buddhism, sir.
Okay, some kind of idea you brought here, but Neo-Buddhism can be understood as Ambedkarism, because this Neo-Buddhism movement had been started by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and it is called as a Neo-Buddhism. It is like a political movement, but many of the low caste communities, especially the untouchables or mahars, the people who do not have any kind of status in the Hindu society, they embraced Buddhism, and it has got a very great, it has brought great impact on Indian society. So Neo-Buddhism was started by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar because of the founder. It can be known as Ambedkarism or Navayana Buddhism. Navayana Buddhism means a new path towards Buddhism, a new journey towards Buddhism. Navayana. It is also known as Navayana Buddhism or Neo Buddhism. As you pointed out, some aspects are there, some aspects in the sense some kind of liberal uh, ideas and liberal principles are there. That aspect is there. Okay. Now coming to the our discussion, women in Neo Buddhism. Dr. Ambedkar made it a point, as he said, to carry women along with men as equal participants in the just society he envisioned. That means Ambedkar also uh, try to bring equal status to women in the male-dominated society. Actually, Ambedkar had a great vision for the equality in the Indian society. Why? Indian society divided into four important castes. Those divisions were brought by Aryans. Aryans were not belong to Indian. They were Indo-European community. So they came here, they settled here, and they established their culture, tradition, everything. So in that process, they divided entire Indian communities into four important castes: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And another caste is also known as outcast. They do not have even the position of the caste. They were called as a untouchables. So when Ambedkar belongs to untouchable, that means asprusya. So when he just came to the position where he had a broader vision and great respect, great name, and that time only Ambedkar envisioned. Vision means he had a vision towards equal society, the society which consists with equal participation of all the communities, irrespective of their color and their caste, their creed. So Ambedkar also tried to bring equal status to women in the Indian society. Ambedkar urged each woman to stand up to her husband, claim to be his friend and equal, and refuse to be his slave. So Ambedkar said, every woman who is part of important institution called family, stand up and express boldly to your family members, you are a part of family, not like a slave, but you are a kind of friend who can help. So Ambedkar encouraged women to express their bold expression towards family, towards society, to have equal right. So women's status in Neo-Buddhism, we can see that Ambedkar tried to give equal status to women in the patriarchal society. Many Dalit women have felt empowered by Ambedkar's socially progressive Buddhism and practice the religion proudly. During this movement, Neo-Buddhism movement, many women embraced Buddhism because Ambedkar was trying to uplift women status in the Indian society, especially in the Hindu community background kind of setup. So many women, they embraced Neo-Buddhism. That means they came to Buddhist path. Dalit Buddhist women say that Buddhism has given them self-respect and the confidence to rely on themselves. Friends, again, many of you might be thinking about Ambedkar because Ambedkar embraced only Buddhism, not any other religion. And some of you may think that why Ambedkar embraced Buddhism? What are the reasons? Any ideas or any thought? If you have, you can share. Why Ambedkar embraced Buddhism? Any idea?
Because there is no caste.
Very good. There is no caste. Very good.
Equality.
Equality, yes. As brother rightly pointed out, Buddhism's main principles are respecting each and every human being. So Buddhism try to bring brotherhood among the people, brotherhood among the people. And Buddhism doesn't encourage any kind of hierarchy in the society. Only Buddhism just encouraged service-oriented lifestyle and also moral, ethical, centered lifestyle. Because Buddhism doesn't belong to any caste. So, as brother rightly pointed out, because of equality, because there is no caste, no hierarchy, so Ambedkar embraced Buddhism. So Ambedkar, before embracing Buddhism in Nagpur, Ambedkar was observing all the religions, main religions, which are very much prevalent in India. For example, Muslim religion prevailed almost like 6 centuries. That means 12th century, from 12th century to 18th century, Muslim people ruled India. That means almost 600 years, India was under the control of Muslim rule. During the time only, all the Hindu temples were destroyed by Muslim rulers, and at the same place, masjids were established. Masjid were established. Now, Ramalalla temple in Ayodhya also had same context. Now we are going to, we are not going to that issue and all. Muslims ruled India from 12th century to 18th century. That means 600 years. India was under the control of Muslims. Muslims established their masjids and Muslims established their religion. Even in the Muslim religion, hierarchy was there. No equality, no law. Man was superior, woman was inferior. And many kind of hierarchical structure were present in the Muslim community. Because of that, Ambedkar did not embrace Muslim. Ambedkar did not embrace Christianity. Why? During the time, Britishers came to India 16th century onwards. Britishers came to India 16th century onwards. India was under the control of Britishers around 400 years. India was under the control of Britishers around 400 years. 16th century to 20th century, almost like 20th century. So British people were representing Christianity, but they made Indians as a slaves. They looted India. Of course, they brought very good infrastructures like railways and national highways, dams, bridges. They brought very good development kind of infrastructure, but they looted India. They got much profit from India. They made Indian people as their slaves, and they were representing Christianity. Because of unethical attitude of Britishers, Ambedkar did not embrace Christianity. If Ambedkar wants to embrace Christianity, because he was very intellectual, he was very much impressed by Jesus' life and ethical teachings and all Hindu leaders. That time, Indian National Congress was under the influence of high caste people. All the Indian National Congress, National Movement of India, Indian National Congress Party were under the influence of high caste Hindu leaders. If Ambedkar embraces Christianity, they will make him like a Deshadrohi. That means they will excommunicate Ambedkar because Ambedkar supported Britishers. That kind of social issue will come. So he did not embrace Christianity. Even Jainism, Sikhism doesn't have much hold during that time. So only Buddhism is the right religion because it doesn't talk about any kind of God concept. Buddhism propagating love, Buddhism propagating service, Buddhism try to bring equal status of women and men. So because of all these elements, Ambedkar embraced Buddhism. So for your information, just giving this
dejó que andaba.
these things. So these are the important elements.
ଟିକେ ତେଲ ପକାଇ ବସନ୍ତୁ ନହେଲେ ଗରମକୁ ଆଉ
Somebody-
ଉଠିବା ମୁଣ୍ଡ
Somebody,
ତଳେ ବସିଲ ଗରମ ପ୍ରବଳ ଗରମ ଅଛି ଏଇଟା ଖୋଲିଲେ ଇଏ ପଳେଇ ଆସିବେ
somebody is
କିସ ହେଲା?
Brother Gautam sir.
ହଁ ଆସନ୍ତୁ ହେଲେ ଏ ବାଟ ଏ ବାହାର
okay. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, because of Ambedkar initiation, and women also got some equal position in Indian society. So that was the women status in Hinduism. With that note, we are going to close. We are going to wind up chapter 3, women in Buddhism. Now we are going to start a new chapter, very short chapter, very precise material we are going to discuss here. Our fourth chapter is talking about women status or women in Jainism. Women in Jainism. Introduction. Jainism is one of the oldest and important religious tradition in India. You know, Jainism is one of the important religious tradition. Vardhamana Mahavira was the main figure in Jainism. At the age 30, Vardhamana Mahavira renounced his princely status to take up the ascetic life. Ascetic means very systematic, very vigorous, disciplined life, where they have a very vigorous discipline to control the body, desires, everything. So Vardhamana Mahavira, at the young age, he renounced all the worldly life. He embraced ascetic life, very strict, very vigorous, disciplined path. Jainism has never excluded women as such. Jainism also gave importance to women, not that much position. They gave minor portion only, but they did not exclude women from their belief and practices. And the key concepts in Jainism, such as fourfold Sangila or Sangha, comprising monks and nuns, laymen and laywomen. If you see, if you observe Jainism and their practices and all, 4 kinds of community lifestyle they have. First one is monks. That means they were completely isolated. They were isolated themselves from the society. They roam here and there. They just live in a isolated place and with ascetic discipline. That is one community. Second community is none. Completely women are there, but women sadhus, women monks, women also, they themselves separate from main society structure, and they live as a community. Monks, male followers of Jain believers, female followers of Jain believers, monks one community, nuns one community, laymen means the people who are involving family responsibility and also who are actively participating in the Jain practices and belief systems. That means Jain laymen, that is also one kind of community lifestyle. Finally, Jain laywomen. These women were married, having domestic and also house responsibilities. Apart from their household responsibilities, social service and all, they actively involve in Jain belief systems and practices. So monks are there, nuns are there, laymen are there, laywomen are there. When we observe Jainism, 4 kinds of people groups are very much prevalent in Jain tradition. All the texts are written by monks, are male-oriented, and no dogma or treatise composed by any woman of the tradition. When we see other religions, women also contributed something to religion. We discussed in our previous classes and all. Now, when we observe in Jainism, no woman has written any kind of poem or treatise. Treatise means a honorable poetic literature. So no woman did like that. That means in Jainism, a woman doesn't have that much freedom, and they have given Jain people given very less portion or less role to play from woman's side. Woman a symbol of attachment. When we see the Jain main idea or main philosophy, they always see woman as a symbol of attachment. That means when we connect with the women or when we have any association with women and that attachment divert from our religious path. That's what their idea. Asceticism in Jainism is the central value and the quickest path to salvation. Actually, Jain's principle, Jainism main pillar of their belief system is the asceticism. That means asceticism means practicing very disciplined life and leaving all the comforts having very vigorous strict discipline. That is the main foundation in Jainism. So asceticism, those who follow non-attachment lifestyle, attachment to a kind of luxury, attachment to entertainment, attachment to bodily pleasures, attachment to fleshly desires, all these things divert a person from religious path. So what Jain people or Jainists always think about, they don't want to any attachment. They want to have a detachment life. That means they need very strict, vigorous practice. So it is the foundation. Now, the woman is bound to be represented negatively. When we see the Jainist ideology, Jainism philosophy, Jainism principles, they always see women as a negative being. They always consider women as a negative being because women as a symbol of attachment. So anybody can divert from his religious path because of the association of women, because of the attachment towards women. So that kind of ideology they have. A woman can be a threat to monk chastity life. Chastity means purified life. Woman can be a threat. That means woman is a danger to a religious man. That is the idea. Such a negative way, these Jain people always think about women as a symbol of attachment. Stop talking to women is an ideal thing to carry out the Jain vows and vratas. Since Jainism is a religion, it has lot of vows, pramanas, lot of vratas. That means ritual norms and rules and regulations. So don't talk to women. If you talk to women, you will be diverted. That is the idea behind this philosophical thought of Jainist people, Jain people. Stop talking to women. That's what they always say. They always exclude themselves from women association. Some of the writings in Jainism were strongly opposed against association with women. If you see, if you read, if you try to understand literature of Jainism, most of the Jainism writings strongly oppose association with women. Some religious scholars say that the writings only mention about some warnings about men and women relationship. Because everyone is pointing, Jainism is not giving any importance to women. Jainism negatively picturizing women. That kind of negative comments, negative feedback is coming. So what happened? Some of the religious scholars, they are defending Jainism, saying that no, we should not understand Jainism like that. Jainism is giving a role to play in Jainism a role, they are providing a role to women to play in Jainism, but they are not treating women as a negative being. That kind of defense some of the religious scholars uh, are giving on behalf of Jain religion. So they are saying that some warnings are there. We are not, Jainism is not considering women as a negative being. The question on women's salvation. Again, here comes one of the important question about women's salvation. Women will get salvation or not. That is the main idea here. The time between 300 BCE and 200 CE witnessed many challenges. One such challenge was that women are low spiritual beings. Women are low spiritual beings, and women are inferior to men. That's what in during the time between 300 BCE and 200 CE, this kind of idea developed in Jainism and Jaina tradition. Women are low spiritual beings. That means women cannot have a perfect spiritual life. Women cannot maintain perfect spiritual path because they are low spiritual being. They were created like that. That is the argument we can hear from Jainist people. Women are inferior to men. Again, they are defending men as superior to women. The above view were expressed by Kundakona, a well-known Digambara teacher. Jainism has two sects, two important main groups. One is Svetambara sect. Second one is Digambara sect. Any one of you can just throw some insights about Svetambara and Digambara? Do you know any one of you? Jainism has got two important sects, Svetambara and
Yes, sir.
Digambara.
Yes, sir. The Shvetambara means they wore white dress and worship Lord. Every time they wore white dress only.
Thank you, Sister.
Yeah, Digambaras means they didn't wear the clothes and all.
Very good, very good. Sister Pamela rightly pointed out the two important sects in Jainism. Svetambara, they always wear white clothes. Sweta means white, as she rightly mentioned. Again, Digambara, they don't prefer wearing clothes. Why? That idea comes because they wanted to control the body through vigorous religious discipline. When we don't prefer to wear clothes, insects threat will be there, and environment threat will be there, and so many bacteria, viruses threat will be there. Directly they will attack our body. But what Jaina people were thinking, through that religious discipline, we can attain salvation. That is the idea because of that. But for nuns, Digambara path is not allowed for the female. You must remember these things. According to the teachings of the Jaina, a person, Jaina means the person who attained the stage of ultimate perfection. That is called Jaina. So Jaina is a perfect guru. Jaina is a person who had a perfection, a state of perfection in the body and in the mind, in the soul. So, according to the teaching of the Jaina, a person wearing clothes cannot attain moksha. Even if he be a Tirthankara, the path of moksha consists of nudity. He was telling the path of moksha consists of nudity. That means nagna. If you are not wearing any clothes, you are very close to path of salvation. That is the philosophy is there. Svetambara sect, they prefer to wear white clothes, as sister pointed out, and often defend the spirituality of women. One important thing we can see here, Svetambara people always give importance to women. They always support to women. That's what they often defend the spirituality of women. Since the Atman means soul, since the Atman is exactly the same in both women and men. Women is fit for emancipation. Why the Swatambaras giving support to the women in the Jaina tradition? They are telling that Atman is exactly same. Either women or men, they are having same Atman. So don't think about bodily appearance. Women and also men are equal to attain to receive salvation at any time, at any moment. Second discussion in our class today, argument concerning Jainas. Argument concerning Jainas. Who is Jaina? Who is a perfect being in Jainism? So those arguments we are going to see. And again, some of the perfected souls, some of the gurus who are role model for Jaina traditions, they brought some of the important areas. Now, 24th Tirthankara was Vardhamana Mahavira. He was a married man and father of a child. Many of the Jain people, many of the followers of Jain, they are asking a question. See, why we are giving low status to women? Why we are excluding women from the main religious practices in Jainism? See about our perfected soul, 24th Tirthankara, Vardhamana Mahavira, who was the founder, who was the main figure in Jainism. He got married, he had a association with women, he was a father of a child. Since our gurus had a association with women, why we are giving low importance to women? That kind of argument many people are just giving in the Jaina tradition. After a happy married life, who Vardhamana Mahavira, founder and main figure in the Jainism, he renounced the world and embraced the asceticism. Women played main role in his life. Therefore, or thus, women are capable spiritual beings. Digambaras are saying women are not capable for spirituality. So, Swatambar is saying, why not? Women also are capable to have perfect status in spirituality, which is known as a salvation. See about Vardhamana Mahavira, perfect guru, perfect soul. He had an association with women. He had a child. He lived a very happy married life. Again, he got to perfection, salvation. So, in Vardhamana Mahavira's life, women played main role. Why not? Women are capable for spiritual status. So, we should appreciate women's life in the spirituality. That's what one main argument. Ninth Jaina, his name is Malli. Malli was a female and achieved many spiritual things. She was not inferior to male Jaina at any caste. Ninth Jaina or ninth Guru, who had a name Malli, she was a female in the Jaina tradition. When we observe some of the writings, we can get this information. So, women Guru or women Jainas also part of Jaina tradition. So, we must give importance to women. That is the argument. The new state of the soul, where both these genders have been abandoned, neither male nor female. So, that is the idea. Because in the perfection, in the ultimate perfection state or salvation, there is no hierarchy. This kind of arguments are coming up in the Jaina tradition. Mothers and female goddesses in Jainism. Jain narrative literature also provides numerous instances where a man's mother is seen to act as a spiritual guide. Dharma Charya. Example, first Jaina, Rashba's mother, Trisala, mother of Mahavira. Here, two women name here I am just bringing out. Rishubha is first spiritual guru in the Jaina tradition, and her mother, Rishubha's mother, played an important role. Because of her role, the first Jaina Rishubha got perfection. Again, Vardhamana Mahavira, founder of Jaina, main figure in Jaina tradition, because of her mother's influence, Trisala, he had that level of spirituality. So, in Jainism, women played an important role. That is the main idea here. There are also several groups of goddesses who are connected with the Jain doctrine. In Jainism, some of the goddesses also are what we call they are syncretic. They adopted some of the goddesses to worship, to follow. So goddesses concept in Jainism directly gives message. Jaina tradition is holding woman, feminine goddess concept. So every Jain must give importance to women, because in Jainism, goddesses concept is there. Apart from the mothers, another group familiar to most women is formed by the 16 Mahasatis. But there are also numerous other female names which are significant to the Jain mains. We can see here in the Jainism some of the Mahasatis. Sati means a woman who is having a very important role in the family. Maha, great woman stewards, the great woman who brought great influence in the family. Mahasatis are mentioned in the Jaina writings, almost like 16 Mahasatis, and numerous beyond the numbers female names are significant in the Jaina minds. That is also another important aspect we can see in the Jaina tradition. This is what Jaina versions of the lives of pan-Indian heroines such as Sita, Damayanti, or Draupadi demonstrate more than models of true wives, Pativratas, which they are anyway. They show an extraordinary steadiness and conviction in Jainism. All these people were very much revered in Jaina tradition. Sita, she belongs to Hindu epic. Damayanti belongs to Hindu Purana epic. Draupadi belongs to Mahabharata. So Sita belongs to Ramayana, Damayanti belongs to Purana, and Draupadi belongs to Mahabharata. All these women are very much connected to Hindu tradition. Though they are part of Hindu tradition, in Jaina tradition, they were highly respected, regarded as a Mahasatis. So, Jaina tradition, indirectly, they are giving much priority to women. Nuns' status in Jainism. Nuns are also subordinated to the monks' authority. Now, when we come to the female followers, female ascetics in Jaina tradition, here again we see they are inferior, subordinate to the male nuns. The male ascetic is governed by two persons, the teacher and the preceptor. But the female ascetic is governed by three persons, the female superior, Pavatni, the preceptor, and the teacher. When we observe the Jaina tradition, every boy, every male has two instructors in their life, but female or woman or a girl has three instructors in their life. That means woman was given a much priority. Nuns require more years than their male counterparts to attain high positions in the religious hierarchy. That means if male is there, they will get good positions, high positions in a short span of time. But female, it takes long time. That's how we can see a kind of male domination in the Jaina tradition. Nuns are generally not allowed to preach. Here completely they were denying female or women nuns propagation of the Jain tradition. Nuns are generally not allowed to preach. Here they are discriminating women beings and they are putting down all the women. Jaina sects like the Sthanaka Vasins and the Therapantins avowedly consider the nuns' education as a priority and have a modern position on the subject. These are the two important recent or later Jaina schools, Sthanak Vasinis and Therapantinis. They are saying women are very, very important for the society, for the establishment of religion. So, education as a priority for nuns, education as a priority for women. So, women must be educated. That kind of awareness teachings have come through later Jaina schools, Sthanakvasins and Therpantis. The Federation of Jaina Association of North America states, we can see in North America, there is a big Jain association and federation. They always give this statement. Female or women Jainas, their active involvement is must. They're telling that females' active involvement is must. That is the one positive message they are giving to Jaina tradition. Jaina board should not be male dominated. They are telling that in the Jaina association or federation, there should be balanced participation. That means male members, female members. That kind of awareness is coming in the modern time in the Jaina tradition, in Jainism. Conclusion. It can be said that at any institutional level, Jainism is man-centered. Whenever we see, most of the time, Jainism representing as a man-centered religion. Jain laywomen exhibit the same conviction in their faith and the same determination in its translation into acts in their daily lives. When we see the Jain women, lay women, those are having two responsibilities, home responsibilities and temple responsibilities. They are doing their best to establish, to develop Jain religion. When we see, it is like a very short and precise discussion, which we are discussing now in this class. So when we see Jain tradition, they are not excluding women, they are giving minor role, and they are taking feminine goddess concepts and all. But wherever the important responsibility, position, ritual, practice happens, there man is Jainas are male followers, male monks are trying to take male position, high position. That kind of contradiction is happening in the Jainism. So with this short and very comprehensive, precise discussion, we are going to wind up fourth chapter here. And within a few minutes, we will be having some important other discussion. We will wind up within few minutes, friends. I'm going to wind up, and please bear with me, and I know we need your support. So far, we discussed in our classes. This is the 6th class we are having, and past 5 classes, including today, 6th class, we had introduction, important terms and phrases which are connecting to feminist ideology and feminist principles we had in our first chapter introduction. And we came to section A. In section A, we had a discussion about women in Indic religions. Indic means Indic religions means the religions which are born on Indian soil, Indian land. What are the main established Indic religions? Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism. Last classes, we had a discussion about women in Indic religions, including today's class also. So, what we studied, and when we recollect, we had a discussion on women in Hinduism, we had a discussion on women in Buddhism, we had a discussion on women in Hinduism. Today, we have completed section A, which include 3 Indic religions. Now, we are going to start second section. Second section is a short section. Here only we are going to discuss about 2 important religions, established religions, fastest growing religions we are going to see. What this section is called? Women in Abrahamic religions. Women in Abrahamic religions. So, in this Abrahamic religions, we have 2 important religions, major religions in the world, fastest growing religions in the world. So, women in Islam, women in Christianity. So, we are going to discuss. Then our subject will be over. Now, coming to the 5th chapter, women in Islam. Women in Islam. We are going to discuss few minutes in this section. Then we will wind up our class. We will wind up our class. Friends, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Introduction. Before I am going to start this 5th chapter introduction, are there any questions, friends, concerning chapter 4, chapter 3, women in Buddhism, women in Jainism? Any questions? Okay. If you do not have anything, and you can ask anytime. Round the clock, you can text in the group, you can text personally, you call personally, you are free to do that. Now, we are going to start 5th chapter, that is women in Islam. Now, introduction. Islam is one of the fastest growing religions in the world. Islam is one of the fastest growing religions. It was emerged as a great opponent to the Christian faith. When we come to understand the history, Islam was born in 6th century. Islam was born in 6th century where Arabian Peninsula, Muhammad just founded this religion. So when Islam was born in the Arabian Peninsula, Arab land, and it was the main opponent, great opponent to the Christian faith. Why? They always targeted Christian to wipe out. They always targeted Christian to wipe out. So Islam was emerged as a great opponent to the Christian faith, and also now at present it was a great opponent to all the religions, but great opponent to the Christian faith. It was founded by Muhammad and had brought strong influence upon all the world religions. Founder of Islam was Muhammad, Again, we will say Prophet Muhammad, and because of his vision, he founded this religion. So it brought great impact. Islam was born in Arabia, Arabian land, started in Makkah. In modern day, we can call it Saudi Arabia, that region. The Arabic words Islam means surrender. Allah is also known as God. Allah means it is not a new God, it is an Arabic word for God. In Arab, Allah means God. So Islam means what? Islam means surrender, and Allah means God. These two names are come from Arabic language. Women's status in Islam is one of the important aspect to learn. Next class we are going to discuss women's status in Islam. Only we have two religions, Abrahamic religions. We are going to discuss in coming classes. Friends, if you have any kind of questions, you can ask me, and we can have a discussion.